Start.
Hey, welcome to Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. I'm going to share this on Facebook quick. While I'm sharing it, why don't you share it too? And I'm... Hey, welcome to Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. I'm going to share this on Facebook quick. While I'm sharing it, why don't you share it too? That totally didn't work. And I'm still working on sharing this. Okay. Well,
Let's get started. We'll share it later.
Okay. That was immensely awkward. Okay. So Awkwardly Awesome Podcast starts in 3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome. Today I'm so excited to have my friend and colleague Erik Swanson on. Erik is amazing. He's a 5-time bestseller who started with Brian Tracy 25 years ago. Welcome to the program, Erik.
What's up, man? How are you, Jason? Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
That was an awkwardly awesome introductionally experience. That was amazing.
Yeah, very awkwardly awesome.
I gotta high five you here. You gotta, yeah, this way, yeah. Can you turn? Wait, you gotta turn that way. Turn your head this way. No, the other way.
Wow.
It's good to be here, man. How are you, buddy? What's going on?
I'm really great. Thanks for being on.
My pleasure, man. I'm excited to be here. I finally made it. This awkwardly awesome. It's hard to say awkwardly, by the way. It's such an awkward word, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great word for someone with a speech impediment to pick for the branding. Oh well. But anyway, would you tell about that? First of all, tell about that magic moment that involved me speaking on stage, involved a plant, and then you did something spectacular.
Yeah, I can share that, definitely. All right, so you're talking about, I love, by the way, this is cool. I love the way you bring out that you're like, look, I want to start the program by talking about you. I love that. That's awesome. I want to see you smile. There you go. I love this. All right, so here's the deal. So I got to tell you guys. So I run this company called Habitude Warrior Conference and all that stuff, right? And we got a really cool company, cool conferences all over with lots of cool speakers. But the thing is, I was floored. I was blown away when I was at I believe it was Secret Knock is the one I met you at.
Yeah.
With Greg Reed. Yeah. So I saw you at Secret Knock and I saw you on stage and I literally did this. I don't know if your audience members know who this person is or these two people, David Corbin and Les Brown. They were standing right over here to my side and I literally pushed them out of the way. I go, hold on, Les, hold on, David. I gotta say something. And I raised my hand. I was like, yeah, hey, Greg, I got to tell you something. And they called on me and they handed me the mic. And I said, I want you, Jason, to be on any and every one of our events of Habitude Warrior. You're grandfathered in whenever you want to speak because you're one of the best speakers I've ever seen on any stage. And it's still true today. So I really appreciate you, man. I mean, honestly, like, I can't even imagine growing up with a speech impediment and growing up the way you've grown up and conquering the fears that you had to conquer your awesomeness is what I call it, and get to the stage that you're at, and you're changing lives. You're changing your own life by changing other people's lives. And that really speaks to my heart. And I was just really floored. So yeah, that's the story. I mean, I want to hear your side of the story, because you were the one on stage and you're like, who's this guy raising his hand? I mean, what were you thinking?
Just overwhelmed, because it's such an incredible gift. I mean, speakers need amazing stages to develop their craft, and dude, you've created Habitude warriors, and you don't just bring like three 5 speakers together. You bring 30 speakers together at a time for a 3-day event, and everyone's meeting each other, and the community is growing. And for you to suddenly say, hey, Jason, you are part of this. What a gift.
Wow, you deserved it, man. You deserve it big time. So, when you say what a gift, in fact, that should be, I'm going to write this down. That should be one of your book titles. What a gift. Because guess what? It's when you say it again. What a gift. Say it out loud.
What a gift.
You know what you're saying is, you're saying the world gets a gift also, because it's such a gift that you are on stage to share your gifts with them. It's what a gift.
What a gift. So the reason I wanted you to tell that story first is to set the stage. I've known you for like 8 years, and I mean, we think we know the people in our lives, but in January we were having breakfast at the Henry and Coronado, and you started telling me this epic story of your mom, and I'm like, wow, why did I never know the story? It's so like you say, it's so awesome, and I've heard you speak, but I never had heard that story.
There's a picture of my mom right there.
So what was her name?
Her name's Maria Serna. That day that you and I were sitting in Coronado at the breakfast with a couple other friends of ours, Jason Stewart and Natalie Susie. We lost a legend, a person that has changed a lot of people's lives as well. Kobe Bryant and his daughter, and a few other people, obviously or a couple other people in the helicopter. But I remember that was a day that I won't forget.
Yeah. So will you tell a little of your mom's story? Because she had like this amazing journey from her childhood to her adulthood. Just totally wow.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, we have some people saying hi, by the way. So there you go. Aaron Lay says hi, Jason. Look at all these people saying hi to you guys. It's awesome. Oh, Jennifer Gerald. Let's give shout outs to people. These are all of our
people. Yeah. These are amazing peeps, and this is a tribute to you, Eric, because this is how community builds, and you are a community builder.
Oh, thank you so much. Lynette McCall says, Habitude and Secret Knock are awesome. Les Brown, yay. Okay, there you go. That's awesome. We have let's all give prayers to Steve Taubman, Dr. Steve Taubman, and his amazing pooch Woody. Love you, man. So let's see. What was the question? We got an amen. All right, I like it.
So your mom began her life in one place, and then she progressed to move to another place.
Yeah.
So do tell. It's just wow.
Sure, I'll share the story. I'm not sure how much I shared that morning with you, but essentially, what Jason, what you're asking me is about the story of my mother in Nicaragua. So she was born in Nicaragua, and in Central America, of course. And she was her father was it was an interesting story. Let me see if I can get it exact. Her father, at a very young age, he was always that sort of like an entrepreneur type of individual. And he always sought out opportunities. And his friends thought he was a little crazy. So what happened was he ended up at like 17 or 18 years old. He ended up traveling around and looking at this piece of property. And he wanted to buy it. It was just a farmland, or just a piece of land, basically. And he wanted to purchase this land. So he ended up talking to his friends about it. He's like, "Look, I think I'm going to purchase this land." So a couple friends of his went over and looked at the land, and they're like, "What are you, crazy?" His name's Luis. "Luis, what are you, crazy? This land has all these rocks and boulders and different things. I mean, it's like, why would you? There's no way you're going to be able to farm on this land. How are you going to be able to plant anything?" He's like, don't worry. I'll figure it out. I'm sure it'll work out. So he purchases the land at 17 years old, I think it was, or he just turned 18. And he gets there and he starts cultivating the land and so forth, and realizes his friends are pretty accurate. There's no way that they're going to be able to plant anything on this land because it's a granite field. So he was he was an instant multi-billionaire immediately. Okay. Or multi-millionaire. He was sitting on a granite mine. So basically, granite, I mean, talking about, like, I don't know if you know about crystals and granite and rocks and all this stuff. I don't know what this is, but we're looking at like really big granite field. So he became an instant millionaire. And that in his 19, 20, 21, all the way, in his 20s, he decided to, oh, by the way, Dan Clark's calling us. Boom. It's always fun to say, Dan, I'll call you back. All right. So basically, so my grandfather, he instant millionaire, decides that he's going to travel around and buy properties around Nicaragua. And he did that. And he ended up, this is kind of the interesting part. He ended up meeting a lot of, females and having a relationship here in this town with that young lady, and, 6-month relationship there, or a year, and had a child, and then went to another and another. He literally, I mean, he's like a playboy kind of thing. Right?
He met a lot of people in Nicaragua. A lot
of women in Nicaragua, exactly. And the point is, though, he had a lot of he had a lot of these relationships, and he had a lot of children, and then he ended up going back to around, I think it was around age 24, something like that, 25, 26, somewhere around there. He meets finally the love of his life, and they were married up until when he passed just recently, a few years back here. But he meets the lover of his life. Her name's Olga Jacqueline, and Olga is
say that again. Say her whole name again.
Yeah, Olga Jacqueline.
I won't try and repeat that.
That's the only third time I've ever said it too. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So Olga Jacqueline, right? Jacqueline. And so she's she was very traditional, where she actually told her husband, Luis, she says, "Look, I want you to go and round up all of your kids and bring them here. And we're gonna, we're in this big mansion house. We're gonna build a home for them. And I want all of our kids together, even if they weren't her kids." Isn't that wild? It's just it's a weird story.
How generous is that of her?
Yeah, exactly. And, it's interesting. It was bittersweet because, very generous of her. Obviously, it's interesting, right? But also looking at my mother's side of the story, my mother grew up where she was born in a very, 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 very poor location called Esquipulas. And it's a little tiny town. You have to take the trains, planes, and automobiles kind of thing. You got to take like a mud, like you got to go over a little river. You got to put planks over to get the car across that little ravine. I mean, you couldn't get to this little remote village in Nicaragua. It was very, very remote. And
so if I do Google Maps, I probably won't find it.
Yeah, no, you probably won't find it. Yeah, you can't DoorDash anything there. So So here we are in Esquipulas, and she grew up in I mean, it was like poverty, really. I mean, it was like when they say dirt floors, I mean literally dirt floor. Literally, the floors were dirt.
No metaphors here.
No, yeah, it was a dirt floor. Okay, pardon me. So that's the way my mother grew up until 8 years old. So get this is the wild part. I can't even imagine how how this happened. I mean, it's like I said, it's bittersweet. It's very it's sad and it's happy all at the same time. So what happened was, her father is rounding up all of the kids, and what that means is he's not going to these villages and rounding them up. He's sending his bodyguards and his whatever you call assistants, right? He has all these teams of people who work for him. So here they are. They come to the house and they say, well, Luis Raul would like, his daughter. And my grandmother is like, what are you talking about? And she realized how poor she really was, and how much of a life she could give to her child, my mom, by allowing this to happen. So really, I mean, it's really sad. I could cry right now. My grandmother literally said goodbye to my mother. And
she had raised since infant.
Yeah, and 8 years old. So at 8 years old, my mother travels through from Esquipulas to Managua, Nicaragua, which is the capital, the city, Managua. And she shows up at this house that's a big, huge, like, mansion, right? It's this beautiful location, and it has a helicopter pad on the top of the roof. It is a 3 or 4 story. I was there. I've seen this house. I spent summers there. It was amazing. And I remember my mom telling me stories that the day that she moved there, she gets out of this limousine and she goes to sit down. The maids and the housekeepers, they take care of her, put her in a nice dress and show her to her room. And then they say, okay, at 7 o'clock, we're all meeting for dinner downstairs. So she shows up at this dinner at 8 years old, doesn't know a soul, doesn't know anyone, just doesn't even know her father, really doesn't know, first time she's meeting her father. And actually, I just remembered another story about this. My mother's name is actually Leslie. That's her real name, Leslie. So Leslie. But my grandfather's like, well, I'll tell you the story about that in a second. So what happens is she sits down at this table, this long table with like 14, 15 people. There were 13, no, I guess there were 16, 17 people. There were 13 kids. My grandfather had 13 children, okay? My mom was one of them.
He had a productive.
Very productive. I don't know what he drank, but yes. So 13 kids. And there they were sitting next to each other, and they sat in order of height and age, right? So they were sitting there. So my mom sitting next to Alex, who's another one of her brothers, and then next to Nubia, next to Fatima, next to all these different, all the way around, okay? And they all had to introduce themselves. And there's my grandfather. I know, it's weird, right? And my grandfather's at the end of the table and says, okay, it's my mom's turn. What's your name? And she says, Leslie. And she goes, yeah, we already know a Leslie. What's your middle name? She says, Maria. She goes, yeah, we'll call you Maria. So my grandfather literally changed my mom's middle name to her first name. It's just right then. And anyway, so that was the genesis.
So your mom moves from the small town, which is like 100 people or 200.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a great town, by the way, and I've been there.
To Managua, which is millions of people.
Yeah, millions. Yeah, a couple million. Yeah, you're right. So yeah,
and then she gets to a house bigger than any she's ever seen, and right away she's asked to change her name.
Yeah,
and she's 8.
She's 8 years old. Yeah. She's 8. Yeah. Can you imagine? I mean, what strength do you have to have? It's just, she's confused, but she's like, all right, I'm going to make the best of this.
And she's left her mom, who nurtured her whole life up to that point.
Exactly. Yeah. So
suddenly she has 17 brothers and sisters that she didn't know about.
Right. Well, 13, not 17, but 13. Oh, yeah. Sorry. 13 total. Yeah. But 13 total brothers and sisters. Yeah. So 12 other brothers and sisters. Yeah. So it was bittersweet because now, she's like, what happened? But now she's playing with all these really cool kids. She's in this really cool mansion, and she's getting in trouble, by the way. She's the kind of girl. When she was a kid, she used to tell me so it's Managua. It's Nicaragua. They have a lot of horses and, farms and different things there, even in the city. And she would say to her little brother, Alex, she's like, Alex, I think I see a fly, or what is that thing up there in the big, on this window over here? And he's like, I don't know. What do you want to do? She goes, go get the horse. I'll get the broom. So she would stand on the horse and have him stand on the horse and start trying to hit the fly with the broom. And they shattered the windows. And I mean, she told me all these crazy stories. But the point is this. Fast forward years and years later, here I am. I'm born, and I have one other brother, and we would go to Nicaragua every summer as I was growing up. So when I was, ever since I was born, basically up until about 10 years old, because the revolution started, and it was too dangerous to go there. Yeah. So before the revolution really started, we actually saw a little bit of the revolution. That's the story. I think I told you about the story. I might have, I may not have. So for me, though, it's interesting where, you and I were talking about this at the breakfast that day. It's really given me the ability to see both sides, to see riches of rich and poor is of poor. And that's not even good grammar, but you get the point. So the rich part and the poor part of life, and it's given me a really nice balance to be able to draw from my own experiences, which is really, it's eye-opening and enlightening, really. So, yeah.
So tell me more about what you learned first from the village that you take with you today.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. So by the way, thank you. Steve Taubman just said like acres of diamonds. It does remind me of that. You're right. And I can't believe that I haven't even drawn on this story in one of my books. And it's Jason, I appreciate you. Yeah. I appreciate you bringing this to light, because, you're right. There's a lot of stories in there. And learning lessons, right? Thanks, Jesus. Appreciate it. Jennifer says, amen. I love it. A lot of comments from your followers here. Thank you. I like it what Elizabeth said. Nothing.
Oh, that's so, Elizabeth. Thank you.
So what I took from you I can't remember what you asked. I think.
So what did you take from the village that is dear to your heart?
I'll tell you what. Okay, so I don't know how to articulate this, because I haven't really put it into a learning lesson for myself. I'm sure I've learned lessons from it, but I haven't really articulated the lessons. But I'll share a couple stories or not stories, but just memories that I remember right now. So I remember these things called mosqueteros. Okay, mosqueteros. And by the way, Elizabeth is saying the same thing. Nothing. Okay, so I like picking up people.
John Kovac Jr. John has the best first and last name. John Kovac. I love it.
He does. He's amazing. So I remember these mosqueteros, and these mosqueteros are, literally, this place was so poor that. But the thing is, I got to say something. Even though it was so really poverty stricken there, the town, the village there, it was the most love I've ever seen.
Even though it was really intense poverty, it was the most love you've ever seen.
It really was. I mean, just waking up and walking outside, and you see, we lived in, I don't know why I'm doing this. It's like a triangle like this. We lived in sort of like a triangle area where in the beginning, in the middle part was this big, nice, beautiful church, and everything was surrounded around the church, like the whole village. And it was just amazing. I mean, it's just, I remember that people were so kind and so nice to each other, and so welcoming, and so helping people out. I remember, I just remember this, so there's no running water, and there were wells that they drew from. And I remember my grandmother this is, my grandmother that lived there that, so she would actually take the water and boil it on the fireplace so that I could have a shower or I could have a hot water bath, right? And I'm like 4 or 5 years old, but she would do that for me. And I remember this. This is kind of funny and bad all at the same time. I remember every day. So when we would get there, we'd spend about 3-4 weeks there, and then we'd spend 3-4 weeks in Managua. So we went from poor to way rich. Right? It was crazy.
Talk about culture.
Yeah, it was such a culture shock. But I remember that. Hey, Giovanna, what's happening? I remember that somebody said los mosqueteros. Yeah, los tres mosqueteros. Mosqueteros, by the way, are these things where you lay down on the bed. You're on a dirt floor, but you're on a bed, and then there's so many like what are they not fleas? What are they called? The ones that Mosquitoes, obviously, mosquiteros. That's right, mosquitoes. So there's so many mosquitoes that will bite you there because it's the jungle, it's the forest, right? We're in the woods, we're in the forest, and there's so many mosquitoes that they would hang this mosquitero way up on the ceiling on the rafters, and it would come down like this, like a little tent, but it was on your own bed, like your own little tent on your bed, so that you would have to be inside there so the mosquitoes wouldn't get in. It was really enlightening. It was really cool. And then I remember this is, I'm smiling at this, but it's actually kind of sad. I remember having chicken soup every day. Like every day, chicken soup. And I realize why is because here I am coming from Washington, D.C. area. I'm a suburb kid, right? And we have dogs, we have pets and dogs, and we bring the dogs by their leash, okay, and walk them around. Well, when we got there, we ended up looking, there were so many chickens everywhere. So what I did was I would grab a rope and I'd tie a rope around the chicken's neck to go walk them. I was 5 years old. I was walking these chickens. Every other day we would have chicken soup because apparently I killed the chickens by accident, and my parents wouldn't tell me. Anyway, it was pretty crazy. Eric says, I'm sorry, Steve says, Eric, that was the genesis of the incredible generosity. Oh wow, that's very cool, man. Thank you.
And thanks, Steve, because I almost forgot what I was going to say next. So you have this thing that is absolutely dear to your heart, Eric, and that you embody, and that you have a necklace that says "No drama, serve others." And
that's right.
In this small town in Nicaragua, sounds like the embodiment of no drama, serve others.
It's so true, yeah. So
unless you were a chicken, and then there's lots of drama.
Jason's talking about the necklace that I wear, or the dog tag, and it says NDSO, which stands for No Drama, Serve Others. In fact, I'll put it up here, and it's all about just serving others, and that's what we're all here to help each other out, And I did learn a lot of that, I believe, like Steve just said. That's probably where the genesis of the generosity. By the way, that's a book title, Genesis of the Generosity. Probably started back then, and I love that. I've got so many stories about that. I remember listening to, we had somehow, okay, this is so weird. Like we had one record player and one record. Okay. So it was ABBA, ABBA, ABBA. And it was
ABBA?
Yeah, ABBA. I think it was right, ABBA or Queen, ABBA, something. Anyway, I can't remember the name of the band, but I think that was it. And it was just this one song we would play over and over again. It was crazy, though. Oh my gosh, just such great times. But that, it's interesting how the times that I had, or people had the least amount of money, like in this town, were the times that people were the happiest. And then interesting. And then we went to, 3 weeks later, we went to Managua, and, everything changed. I had my own maid, we had, you're bringing up more memories now. In Managua, there were a lot of tremors. For some reason, that location of Nicaragua would have a lot of earthquakes. Tremors, earthquakes. Yeah. And I remember we would always have to be rushed out of the house at 3 a.m. It And then here I'm 5, 6 years old, 7 years old. It was crazy. And then I remember when I was 8 or 9 years old, we went to a family friends. Oh, this is really cool about Nicaragua and a lot of cultures in the Spanish cultures or Latin cultures, like in Colombia and Venezuela and everywhere, Nicaragua, Panama, Honduras. What they do is when they have a party, they have a party with all generations. Okay, meaning they're having a party. And they've got, the babies in the strollers, and they've got the grandparents in their stroller, great grandparents. They've got everywhere in between. It's crazy. It's really cool, though. Dancing Queen ABBA. Somebody said it. Yeah. What was Dancing Queen? Was that the name of the song? I guess, and ABBA was the name of the band. I think that's correct. Yeah, that was on the flip side. Take a chance on me. I remember that. Take a chance on me. Everyone is sick of this record. I remember that. Oh my gosh. We had one record. It was not a 45. It was one. Wait, 33 is bigger, 45. It was a 45. It was a little one. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. So funny. All right. So getting back to the other thing, I'm interrupting you. Sorry, Jason. But what I was going to say is a quick story about, so I'm in this party. We go to this party. I'm 8 or 9 years old, and the revolution's starting, okay, and this is the Sandinistas and all the different revolution over there in Nicaragua, which was horrendous. I mean, it was horrendous. And what I remember is we went to go play kickball in a cul-de-sac, right? So a cul-de-sac, if some people don't know, end of the street, it's a circle at the end of the street, right? So there's no exit. It's just the circle at the end of the street, and you got a lot of houses next to it. Well, we're in Managua. We're in a really nice area, and my parents were about 2-3 blocks away, 4 blocks away at the party. And I remember that we were at my friend's house, my brother and I, and about 10, 15 kids. And it was my turn to kick the ball, right? I was up at bat, I guess they call it. And here I was, and I'm ready, and I kick the ball. And the ball goes flying over there. And all I see is my brother at second base going like this, come here. And I'm thinking, why would I go to second base? I got to go to first, right? So I'm running towards first base, and he's like, no, come here. I apparently didn't hear the grenades that went off when I kicked the ball. I was so into kicking the ball, there were grenades that just went off literally a block away. And it's sad because people died. A family died literally right next to us. And I just remember all the kids scattering towards second base and going off that way. And I remember we had to I followed my brother and the friend that we were spending time with, and he brought us into his house. Upstairs, they had a secret rafter in the garage, and the maid, the friend, my brother, and I, the 4 of us, stayed up there for about 4 hours, hiding until people came to come and get us. It was crazy.
That scene of the soccer game, even though it's tragic, needs to be in a movie at some point.
Yeah, like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Quentin did. Yeah.
Who would play me? I vote George Clooney.
Yeah. I vote you actually, because you'd be.
I'll play myself.
So when you were describing that multi-generational party, I was kind of jumping up and down in my seat, because that's kind of what you've created with Habitude. You invite young people to Habitude. You celebrate them on stage. It's multi-generations, and so.
That's a good point. Man, Jason, who are you, man? You're bringing out the best in a lot of us. It's amazing. You're right. I believe you're right. I never really thought about that. I mean, that's probably where I got it, is from my childhood. I remember, from our stages, we have, everyone from like Ever's a 9-year-old, kid that's changing lives. She's got Child Hunger Sucks. It's amazing. It's awesome. Great nonprofit.
And she gives suckers, right?
That's right. Yeah, she gave lollipops. Yeah, and then to people who are as old as 98 years old, like Steve Taubman or somebody. So I'm just kidding, Steve. But you're right. We have a lot of different age groups. We just had Brian Tracy on there, and he's kind of getting a little older, and it's just amazing, and anywhere in between. So I love that. That's a good point.
The community. So I've gone to Habitudes to speak and to learn, but the part that's often not taken into consideration about going to events like this is the community that gets built. I mean, there's so many. Our community is on this call right now because you've brought us together, and it's so valuable not only for creating a businesses, but also for our personal lives and for finding joy and meaning in our lives and helping each other when we go through hard times and also celebrating the great times.
That's awesome. That's great to hear, man. Thank you. And I love it when, John Kovacs just mentioned something similar to what you just said. Every time, let's just not say me, let's just say we, every time we go live, it's a Habitude Warrior family reunion. Yeah. And that's the same thing as the Habitude Warrior conferences too. Well, I noticed that, interesting, Jason, and you know this, by the way, we have a correction on the age of Steve Taubman. It's 99. Sorry. So and Steve says, "Yep." So this is kind of cool. You know how we have these events. Okay, so let's take my event and put it aside. If you go to an event and you're speaking on the event, usually the speaker will go there, you fly there, you speak on stage, and you fly out. You don't hang out for 3 days solid or 4 days. What we do, as Jason knows and all of us know, is we all stay. Like literally there's 33 speakers at these events. And you've got people like Sharon Lechter, Laurel Langmeyer, Alex Stern, Steve Taubman, Brian Tracy, who else? Les Brown. We had him in Miami and Atlanta a couple times. We have all these different amazing top name speakers. Jim Cathcart from past president of NSA, National Speakers Association. So we had so many amazing.
Frank Shankwitz.
Yeah. Make-A-Wish Foundation. Yeah. We have people like, the John Comstock. Wow. Were you there with the event of John Comstock where he was? Have you ever heard of Texas A&M, which is a big school?
Wow.
Yeah. And Texas A&M, you guys all probably remember the horrific collapse of the bonfire that they make in 1999. It collapsed, and there were 13 people who were trapped under there. 12 of them perished. One of them is John Comstock, and he shows up every year. We're doing these events in his area. He comes over. He's there for 3-4 days. He'll fly to come see us, and it's just amazing. Amazing. Steve says, "I'm here grieving Woody's passing." Yeah, it's amazing, right? I mean, just Woody has changed so many people's lives. I'm not sure if everyone knows who Woody is, but Woody's Steve Taubman's son, really, his dog. And I'm being showered by love in the Habitude family. Oh, thank you, including dinners showing up at his doorstep. That's right.
And Woody was amazing. Like, I'd be walking around San Diego with Steve, and Woody's just walking ahead of us down the block, respecting everybody, not getting in people's ways, not messing with other dogs, just being like this gentle man, gentle dog, and
I remember when
animal.
He's amazing. I remember when I was walking down the street with Steve and Woody. Woody had like an iPad, and he was on like Animal Channel, just minding his own business the whole time. It was great. It was great.
We did like Animal Channel.
We did like Animal Channel. I just wanted to throw that in there. I don't know why. Animal Channel. Yes, but Woody is basically a son of it's Steve's son.
So we've been.
Says, "Hey guys, what's up?"
Yeah. Oh, hey Joshua. Good to see you. So we've been talking about habitudes, which makes me want to get together with a huge group of people I love right now, but that wouldn't be the best thing for any of us right now at all.
Not unless you have one of these things. Where'd it go? Let's see.
You just showed it to me.
Bam. There you go. I'm ready. Habitude Warrior mask. And I'm smiling.
So how are you bringing people together since the live events are on hold at the present moment?
Yeah, so what we did was we transitioned and pivoted a little bit where we simply took the training in person and put it online, and in Zoom calls and so forth. So we actually built the Habitude Warrior Mastermind, which is amazing, and it's just a place where it's a safe space for us to meet in a private Zoom. We have many groups that have already formed. It's a membership base, obviously, and it's just awesome. We meet, each group meets twice a month, and we go over great ideas on counsel on helping people to grow their business, and we base the Habitude Warrior Mastermind on habits, attitude, and principles of Think and Grow Rich.
Which is right behind you.
Is it? It probably is.
Right.
Can you see it? Oh yeah, that's right. It's right here. No, wait, here, right there. There it is. I'm pointing with my head. It's right there. It's right there. Yep.
So why are these masterminds? How do they move your heart?
How do they move my heart? That's a really great question. So our masterminds move my heart because it's helping people. It's all of what we just talked about. I mean, the no drama serve others. It's all about helping others. And it's really like each of these masterminds take on a life of its own. The groups take on a life of its own because you're getting a collective group that's a collaboration rather than a competition. So you might have some people are similar industries, but they're like, we can use that borrowed benefits from you utilizing this strategy. Maybe I can use that same strategy to build my business as well, or my personal life. We have some members come in and they say, look, this week I don't want to talk about my business. I want to talk about my personal life because I'm fearful of this happening right now. Or maybe they've got some issue going on relationship wise, and they'd really like to open and pour their energy into us so that we can pour our energy back into them. It's really a community of connection, and energy, of awesome energy, really, if you think about it.
When I got going in business like 10 years ago, I can be a really successful speaker with a speech impediment, and which is true, but then I told myself something that was not at all true. I'm like, I can do this all myself. I can figure it out, and that's not true.
Yeah,
That's not true in the least. Business, it takes community to be successful because we don't know it all. But more than that, I mean, who will want to do this all ourselves? It's too lonely.
Yeah.
I mean, might as well go walk at Walmart and see people.
Yeah, I love walking at Walmart. You remind me of a very old proverb that was said to me the other day by a gentleman named John Kovacs Jr., which I think he got it from an African proverb. But anyway, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a team. Mm-hmm. So go with a team, build a team. You never see. Look, it's a team sport. Everything. I mean, even if you have an individual sport, let's say you have tennis or all this mixed martial arts, the UFC and so forth. You've got one.
I do mixed martial.
Yeah, mixed martial arts. Wax on, wax off. So you have the one individual in the ring, let's say, but you actually have a team, a camp is what they call it, that's supporting that person, that's helping that person. So it's really a team effort, and I love that. Steve Taubman's here with us. It's a team effort, man. I mean, this, we're there with him. I mean, he just literally lost his son, is what I call it, but his dog the other day, and it's like a team effort. We're here with you, because I know for a fact that you guys are going to be here for me when I am in need, right? So I love that, and I love what Erin had just mentioned. Erin's one of our master members, Erin Lay. She's amazing. She says, I love the Habitude Warrior Mastermind. It transformed my business big time. And she always tells me this. She says, look, she used to try to do things herself, and she kept on hitting this plateau, this limiting situation. And then when she realized that she shouldn't do it all herself, she should hire other people and coaches and this and that and grow the team. And we're very blessed to be able to assist her with that, so it's really cool. Oh, she just said this. It's massively beneficial professionally, personally and professionally. That's awesome. And then John Kovach says, this is great. These are testimonials. I love them. Says the Habitude Warrior Mastermind is helping awesome professionals find amazing breakthroughs in their lives and their businesses. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So I appreciate it.
So if this is resonating with people and they're thinking, maybe this would help me expand not only my business but my personal life and just grow.
Yeah.
How can they find out more or contact you?
Yeah. So
they can
go there.
Say at the bottom.
Yeah, this is an easy way to do it. Yeah, there you go. Let's point at it, right? You got to lift your hand up higher. So not that high. So it's awesomemastermind.com, and I'll put it in the comments. Maybe I can put it over here. There we go. Awesomemastermind.com. I did it wrong. Hold on. There we go. So I'll put it in the comments there, and we'll share it so people can click on it if they like. But it's really simple. Just click on awesomemastermind.com and find out a little bit more about it. Or better yet, I'll tell you what, this is a better idea. Because of Jason, let us know. Check out this, which is called ridealongguestpass.com. If you go there, enter in your information, and we will give all of Jason's listeners here a free ride or guest pass to check out one of our sessions, which is kind of cool. So it gives you a chance to check us out and gives us a chance to see if you resonate with us as well.
Sounds wonderful. So there's been such a pleasure having you on. Thank you. One last question before we go.
Yeah.
The word awesome has like huge significance to you, Erik. What does being awesome mean to you?
That's a great question. And
we always say this is awesome, that is awesome, but to you it has a deeper meaning.
Absolutely. And that's a great question. And I love the quick answer because it's very quick for me. It's giving mindfulness and gifts to others. That's what being awesome is. It's literally being mindful and being in the present. I always say the present is a present. Being present is a present. And it's all about being present for other people. A lot of us, have you ever noticed that some people are not that awesome because what they're doing is they're looking at you, but they're looking at you and past you. They're looking further. They're looking at another opportunity rather than.
I'm looking at my phone. I'll be back with you on this. I'm just teasing.
He's out of here. So it's all about it's really about. Yeah, no worries. About being awesome, though, for me is literally giving gifts of being present and mindfulness to other people. That's what awesome means to me.
That's beautiful. And who was the first person who called you Mr. Awesome?
Oh, there were two people, Les Brown and Brian Tracy.
Wow. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for being on the Awkwardly Awesome podcast. And
I appreciate
it. These amazing and inspiring stories.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. I really do. So keep changing people's lives because you are kicking butt, Jason. So thank you so much, man. Thank you.
So, Erik, turn it